Hello and welcome to Into the Court of Wenton Knave. Today we're doing a bit of a controversial moment in the catalogue. It's controversial because it features Flo and Eddie, the two vocalists contributing to the sense of humour of the band. We'll talk a bit more about that next week. They're disliked by some. I haven't had this album very long because I didn't buy it because it isn't considered one of his great albums. I can understand why at the time it might have been disappointing because it's a solo album. It's not billed as The Mothers. The Mothers have been disbanded, obviously, so it's just Frank Zappa. But of course, at that point, the two solo albums he'd had were Lumpy Gravy and Hot Rats, two seminal works. So it had too much to live up to in a way. The period following Hot Rats, he actually went through the process of recording a follow-up to it. Well, for whatever reason, was not completed. So this features some of that, some of the new band and the Flo and Eddie stuff, and an outtake from Hot Rats as well. So it's kind of a mishmash of different things. So you can see why people had certain expectations. But actually, it's a great album for exactly that reason. It's a mixture of different things. It's not his best album, but there is some fantastic stuff on there, and I really like it. The big thing, the opening song, Transilvania Boogie, we get the Zappa sound, the Zappa guitar. It starts the album so well, you know. And he's actually using the harmonic minor scale, I think it is, or something similar, the Indian sounding scale. I don't think it's Phrygian, I think it's harmonic minor, popularised possibly by Richie Blackmore, becoming a metal staple scale, that and the other scale that they use in metal. What a jam. It's all about the guitar playing and the way it goes, brilliant. Unfortunately, that's the strongest song on the album. There's good stuff to come, but that's a real seminal piece of Zappa playing, that one, Transilvania Boogie. Road Ladies, a blues jam, that's great, a blues song, that's okay, that's allowed. 20 Small Cigars comes from the Hot Rats session. You can see why they didn't use it on the Hot Rats session, because it is simplistically recognisable as jazz. It is jazz, you know. I mean, it's easy to talk too much about whether Zappa is jazz or not, but that track, that is jazz. Not many would argue, and other than real purists, that wasn't jazz. Then we've got the Nancy and Mary music, which is a jam. It's a section of a King Kong jam. It seems sort of randomly cut out of a piece like that. I don't really get it. A lot of it's a drum solo, so that's there. There's some cool stuff on it. I'd like to hear the whole concert rather than just random bit of part of a jam for no reason. It doesn't seem to be cut out for any particular reason. It's alright. But then we get to Tell Me You Love Me. Now I know this song, long before I'd heard this album, I know this song. I think from You Can't Do That on Stage Anymore, Volume 1, I could be wrong, I think it's 1. What's striking is how much better this version is than the 80s version, which surprised me, and it is the vocals, the dirty grittiness of it, and the vocal delivery, which is brilliant. And that's kind of my introduction to Flo and Eddie, who I've avoided for years. Turns out they're ace. Who'd have known? And you know, would you go all the way? Very poppy. To the extent it's not doo-wop, so you know you'd have to go back to maybe even to Freak Out to get something that poppy on a Zappa album. But why not? It's good. Chunga's Revenge, the title track, another great piece of work in the sense of the sound of the guitar. Chunga is a mutant industrial vacuum cleaner, and some sort of story associated with that. Obviously it's an instrumental, so what does that mean? It kind of doesn't go anywhere. It's 6 minutes 15, it kind of doesn't go anywhere. That's okay though, it's all about the sound of the guitar, and you know, I enjoy it, so that's fine. The Clap. Yes had a track called Clap, which was Steve Howe's solo excursion, and he used to get annoyed that when the album was accidentally billed as The Clap. This is actually called The Clap, and it is hilarious because it's kind of a percussion thing. It's only 1 minute 23, you know, bit of fun. Rudy Wants to Buy You a Drink, another bit of Flo and Eddie, amusing song. You know, you can see how the humour fits with Zappa very well, and it is very accessible. I have no problem with that at all. I mean, it reminds me of the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band. Certainly nothing wrong with that. And it ends on Sharleena, which is just a great song. It's funny, Sharleena has a real 70s vibe to it. Some of the stuff, even on Weasels Rip My Flesh, there's a 60s vibe to the more poppy elements to it. Not as much poppy elements on Weasels. And this sort of, the R&B in there is very 70s, and I like it. So yeah, great album. Who'd have thought? See you next time.